Sky 7 over the scene of what police are now calling a double homicide.
For the first time, California Governor Gavin Newsom has publicly acknowledged that he is open to a run for the White House.
In LA, homelessness has jumped 16% in a year. Half of Americans living on the streets are in California.
Folks, let me tell you something. This was the most partisan California primary debate I have ever seen, and I don't say that lightly. It was on CNN, the same network that's carried the water for the left for years. The questions, the follow-ups, the moderator prompts, everything had a clear left-wing agenda. They hammered the conservatives on stage. They tossed softballs to many of the Democrats, and they kept dragging everything predominantly back to Trump is the root of all evil.
Will F. Trump be your guiding principle in dealing with the president?
When Donald Trump hurts California, as he has again and again, then I will absolutely stand up to him.
It wasn't a debate so much as it was a Democrat family reunion with a couple of Republicans invited just so they could be the punching bags. But my very first thought wasn't even about what they said on that stage. It was this: how many regular, hardworking Californians could even watch the damn thing? The whole debate was locked behind a CNN paywall. No cable, no expensive streaming service. Sorry, you're out of luck. While moms and dads are deciding between rent and groceries, the party through a fancy show most people couldn't even see. I mean, that was my experience. I was putting my kids to bed. I couldn't watch it live. I had to subscribe to CNN, actually, so I could watch the thing. And right out of the gate on CNN, the first ad and the only ad they ran was in Chinese. Now, I don't know if it was Cantonese or Mandarin because I don't speak any Chinese language, and I doubt most, families in this state do either. And of course, that tells you everything you need to know about where CNN's priorities are. But it had high production value, slick lights, Hollywood polish, the works. But outside the studio, real Californians are struggling to make ends meet. One of the highest unemployment rates in the country, lost population, one of only 5 states where more people are packing up and leaving than coming in. Now, let's go through what these candidates actually said, nice and clear, and let's call out the nonsense, even from the ones who try to sound reasonable. So Antonio Villaraigosa tried to play the grown-up in the room. He said he can challenge both Democrats and Republicans, Donald Trump. He made sure to announce that Trump lost in 2020 because, of course, he did.
But I can also challenge Donald Trump and say very clearly that he lost the election in 2020.
But shockingly, he said it's not all Trump's fault. He's the only one who's balanced 2 budgets, he said. We over-rely on tax the rich, was his message more or less. Sure, rich people should pay their fair share, but businesses and regular folks are fleeing this high-tax disaster, and somehow, according to Villaraigosa, though, the federal government is supposed to save us. Now, Villaraigosa lectured Chad Bianco on sanctuary laws, the sheriff. He said, they're not supposed to protect violent criminals. California has turned over 12,000 criminals to the feds. That was his big brag. That sounds like a big number, right? 12,000. I mean, not really. It doesn't if you're not a lunatic. But it's insanely small. Right now, there are over 33,000 criminal illegal aliens sitting in California jails and prisons with active ICE detainers, murderers, rapists, sex offenders, drug traffickers. And the state is still releasing thousands of them back onto our streets in California instead of handing them over. So 12,000 handed over since 2019 is a pathetic drop in the bucket compared to the tsunami of problems sanctuary policies have created. Villaraigosa said, if an illegal murders someone, they should go to jail. That's not controversial, Villaraigosa. That's common sense. But then came the real, the liberal crazy always comes out of these people at some point. For him, it was, healthcare is a right that must be affordable, universal, and high quality. Can someone please show me one place on God's green earth where government actually delivers that without bankrupting everyone else? Single payer? He did say it wasn't realistic. Has a $500 billion price tag. It needs a federal bailout, again, with the federal government. He said it would blow up our deficits. No kidding. He said it was total pie in the sky. Villaraigosa bragged that he built more homes in 8 recession years than the 12 years before, under the same Democrat rules that made housing unaffordable. He attacked Becerra's chief of staff scandal, padding salary with campaign funds. He said the guy should be under suspicion. On the rail disaster, he said he wouldn't kill the project, though. He'll magically fix it. But more importantly, Villaraigosa called this an existential election for Hollywood. I mean, how out of touch can you get? This is existential for regular Californians trying to keep the lights on. Katie Porter went straight to climate change. Trump is the enemy. And her whiteboard CEO attacker act. She admitted the billionaires tax, that it's bad policy and it won't help younger working people. And then she flipped and said all taxes should be progressive. When people make more, they should pay more. Classic. She played the scolding school teacher, lecturing everyone on stage. She said the governor's job is to protect every single Californian. No questions asked. Sanctuary laws mean we don't cooperate with the feds. She said outrageously and insanely, actually, that illegal immigrants are the only reason the state's been growing.
Go ahead.
It's the job of the California governor to protect every single Californian. The sanctuary state policy is designed to make sure that our state resources, the taxpayer dollars, the public servants that we have, are focusing on doing their jobs, which is not cooperating with the federal immigration authorities. These are Californians. They contribute to our economy. They pay taxes, and they're one of the only ways that our state has been growing in recent years.
Temperament obviously was her Achilles heel, her big weakness. Everyone's seen those viral berating videos. And so, she was very sensitive about this. She gaslit the stage. I apologize. Nobody else has for their failures. She says she's the only candidate who refuses corporate donations. That's a popular line of hers. Is that Bowles? No, it's unhinged. She's unhinged. Tom Steyer, the billionaire who hates billionaires, he was there. He's the richest and dumbest guy on the stage, I might add. He listed real problems, but of course, he blamed everybody except Democrats and their policies. Close corporate loopholes, tax the oil companies, more money for schools. He said he walked away from his company 14 years ago to give back when he was pressed on the fact that he made his billions off of gas and coal, which he's now totally against. He bragged about the environmentalists all loving him. He said billionaires like him should pay more. Well, pay more. What's stopping you, Tom? He was a big abolish ICE proponent. He called it a criminal organization. By the way, this guy, Tom Steyer, is completely insane. He said single payer is the only answer. He supports free health care for illegals. Immigrants built the state, he said.
On the question of health care for the undocumented,
I said everybody in California
so you would
has a right to health care. And let's answer
California
this out.
Should fund that.
The truth of the matter is immigrants built this state. Immigrants make this state run.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is we had a broken immigration system, and now you want to victimize the people who are working here and making the state run.
Thank you,
As
sir.
Antonio said, try and get rid of them. You can't do it.
Let's go to...
He claimed that clean energy is somehow cheaper than oil and natural gas. His proposal is to triple the EV tax credits. I'll get to that in a minute because Hilton brilliantly clapped back at that. And he attacked corporations. Corporations are the problem. Not the Democrat Party, not their policies, corporations. He said he was the change agent at the end. And folks, that means turning California into straight up communism. Steve Hilton was the sharpest one up there, I thought. Democrats only want to talk about Trump. They refuse to take any responsibility, Hilton said.
It's not Donald Trump who's given us gas prices $2 higher than the rest of the country. It's Democrat policies, which Antonio and all the Democrats here support. It's not Donald Trump that's given us the highest housing costs in the country. It's Democrat policies that all these Democrats support.
He brilliantly made the point that before the Iran war, which all the Democrats want to use to claim that that's what made gas more expensive in California, despite the fact that it's been higher in California long before that. Well, he pointed out that 40 states had gas at $3 or lower before the Iran war. He pointed out that single payer is a disaster. He's the only one who lived it in the UK. He said he'd work with the feds on immigration, just like, under Obama. He said illegal immigration is not how you grow a healthy economy. And he's right about that. He said, stop the lawsuits, cut the regulations, stop forcing housing where people don't want it. And he really rose above the fray. Hilton totally gets it. Chad Bianco, the Riverside sheriff, he spoke like a normal American, I thought. Democrats don't deserve another chance, he said. They've broken the state. He's right. And he pointed out that he's the only one with a real career making people's lives better and living under the failed Democrat policies as a sheriff. He said everyone's leaving because of their taxes and their policies. He said the other candidates don't even understand the laws. It's all emotion. And that's why we get riots. He told a powerful story about a mother whose 14-year-old was killed by an illegal who'd been deported 3 times. The sanctuary cities, in response to people saying sanctuary cities are, this wonderful thing. He pointed out that we can't give free stuff that encourages more illegal immigration while legal immigrants do it the right way. He pointed out that homelessness needs treatment, not just a hard roof and a pat on the head. And again, he lives the life and death consequences every single day of Democrat policies. He had a great temperament tonight, as opposed to the last debate. Xavier Becerra was a pure career politician on display. He pointed out that, Democrats are great because we don't leave anyone behind. And again, this is the whole thing. Democrats want to be graded on their promises, not the results, right? Their so-called intentions, not what actually happens as a consequence. And that's hilarious. But, he bragged about suing Trump, expanding health care, lowering drug prices under the Obama administration. Everything is Trump's fault to this guy, especially gas prices. He got into it with Mahan a couple times. He told Mahan, look at my record. He said, at HHS, we balanced our budget 4 years in a row. Folks, let's be clear. He spent what Congress gave him during Biden's $1 trillion deficit years. That's not balancing a budget. That's spending other people's money. He was a cabinet official. So, he bragged about, supporting Medicare for all for 30 years. He talked about policing Trump's masked mercenary force. That's ICE. He talked about jailing them. He talked about how illegal immigrants work hard and pay taxes. And when Steve Hilton brought up the chief of staff scandal in which he was, funneling campaign cash, Becerra called it scurrilous. He bragged on his record again. He said that experience separates him. There's no training wheels when you get in the governor's chair. He said that Newsom's tenure was game changing, more like the same old game, my friend. And then we got Matt Mahan from San Jose, right? We're amazing. He says he challenges the establishment. He called Hilton's $3 gas plan unrealistic. That was unbelievable to watch. His proposals are effectively to tax the rich more, remove some regulations. And he's a big government guy, but he doesn't want to make government smaller, but he wants to make government better. So, he claims to be this kind of outsider against the establishment, but he is the establishment. I mean, he actually said that progressive values, progressive policies, they work in practice. No, they don't. He said that Trump's policies terrorize communities. He says he delivered on housing and ADUs. He said that Newsom, in one word, his record, it's just incomplete. Oh, okay. He can't even condemn Newsom. But here's the big truth, folks, plain and simple, Drew Allen style. It's Democrats, stupid. Every single big problem in California, sky-high housing costs, the highest gas prices in the nation from overregulation, homelessness everywhere, crime, businesses, and people running away is the direct, predictable result of decades of one-party Democrat rule. Not Trump, their policies, their excuses, their refusal to take responsibility. Even the reasonable ones admit problems and then demand more of what caused them. I'm talking about Democrats. They want more taxes, more single-payer fantasies, more protecting illegals over citizens and legal immigrants, more green virtue signaling while working families get crushed. That pathetic 12,000 handovers next to 30,000 plus criminals still shielded by sanctuary rules says it all. Becerra's fake budget brag, Steyer's communist dreams, Porter's outbursts, it's all the same failed playbook. California doesn't need more lectures, more lawsuits against Washington, or more spending. It needs leaders who will cut taxes, slash stupid regulations, enforce the laws, use common sense energy, treat homelessness with real accountability, and put American citizens and legal immigrants first. Voters, the status quo is indefensible. Keep giving these people the same job with the same ideas, and you'll keep getting the same disaster, only more expensive and more painful. California is running out of other people's money and other people's patience. It is Democrats, stupid. It is time to stop pretending. This primary is Californians' chance to choose reality over the same old nonsense. Californians deserve straight talk. They deserve real fixes. Please, pick the leaders who actually live with the consequences every day. Insane people. I'm Drew Allen. Thanks for watching on the Daily Signal. Let's take California back.